Hey there, Ride the Car Guy here with another radio review. Today we're talking about the Kenwood DDX-6705s. I consider this a mid-range radio in the way of cost. As of the time of this video, it's about $450. And for that $450, you get a ton of options in this radio. At the top, you'll see a CD slot, which is also a DVD player. On the left, you have your hard buttons. These are customizable in color. And at the bottom, you just kind of have a chrome strip here. It has a nice big screen. I did realize that this is a resistive touch screen. It's not a capacitive touch, so you will have the occasional mishit or some inaccuracy if you don't press, deliberately enough or hard enough on the screen. Let's start it up and see how long it takes to boot up. Okay, a bit slow to get to that Kenwood splash screen. All right, you have your classic warning screen. You can have it turn off after 10 seconds, or you can just hit agree, and you're in. At first, I found this menu to be kind of confusing, but once you get it down, it's not that big of a deal. First, you have this here. That's going to be all of your apps, and this is customizable. And what I mean by that is literally, if you hold this down, you can move these around. I actually quite like that feature. I don't like, sometimes when they force a certain organization on you, I'm not a huge fan of that. So it is nice to be able to move these around. That includes these big three on top. So if you go to the right, you'll see there's just bunches of different options. We'll talk about most of these. But the ones you use most, you can bring to this front screen and move them around. So if you find that you use Spotify a lot, you can just hold it down, move it up, let go, and then it replaces whatever was there and then puts whatever was there back in its original place. Through a wired connection, you can use what's called the Kenwood WebLink app. You can also use Sirius and Spotify and Waze if you want to use that for navigation. In addition to that connection, the physical connection will also do Android Auto and Apple Carplay. That's really nice if you especially have a family and different people are going to be driving your car, or if you just like to swap phones a lot. You're not going to be stuck with one or the other. This, of course, does have Bluetooth. It does have an external microphone. It does not have the integrated microphone in the face of it, so you will have to run a microphone to somewhere else in the car. It has a classic array of settings. You can change the key color on the left, like I spoke about earlier, to whatever you like, or just have it kind of cycle through colors. You can also change the background, so if you want to change the way it looks, click that. Click any of these, really. There you go. Now your background's changed. One nice feature I like about this Kenwood is it has a viewing angle setting. So if you have a radio mount in your car, where it's kind of slanted, you can adjust the screen to accommodate for that slant. So you'll see as I click through these, it's going to change the way that it's viewed. Hopefully you can pick this up on the camera. I have it set to -1 because that's approximately the angle at which I'm viewing it sitting in the seat. One thing I do like about this radio is the camera settings. This allows for a rear camera and a front camera in the system. So you can put in any cameras you like, but Kenwood does make its own dash cam that plugs directly into this, and you can integrate it into this radio. Speaking of the camera, if you don't have a camera interrupt, which means when the signal turns on, it interrupts the radio and will overlay the image, you can just click this button to go to the camera whenever you want. And then when you're done, you just click it again and you're back to your regular radio. Some interesting features of this radio include the ability to get vehicle info, gauges, and climate control inside the interface. I'm sure there's additional physical units you need to buy to hook up to your car, but if you do some research and you do have a vehicle that's supported, you can actually use these features within the radio itself. On the left side, your buttons include a home button, and this also doubles as your power button. So anywhere you're at in the radio, if you hit that home button, it's going to bring you back to this main screen. Then you have your volume buttons, and as far as I can tell, these are the only volume buttons on the radio. I don't think there's any actual virtual buttons on the screen. Then, like we said earlier, there's your camera button. You can click on to get to whatever camera you have set. And then here's a menu button. So wherever you're at in the radio, you can click that and get to your menu. Also, if you're in, let's say, Android Auto or Apple CarPlay and you want to get back to this screen, that's what this button is for. if you have your iPhone plugged in and you hold this down, this becomes your Siri button. So if you need anything on Siri, you just hold it down and then it'll come up and you can just start talking to it. I have an iPhone with me, so I'll go ahead and plug it in and show you that now. So with CarPlay, it's really simple. You just plug in your phone and then the Apple CarPlay button becomes available. You can click that and then you're in CarPlay. Now this CarPlay is just like any other CarPlay, so I won't really get into this, but just know that it has the full availability. And I know this here is your Siri button, so you can hold it down, this down if you want to get Siri like this, and then you can hold down this button to get Siri as well. There you go. One thing that is nice, so let's say you are home and that Siri button is gone. If you hold it down, you still get your Siri. Playing a disc is pretty simple. Once you put the disc in, the disc option will light up. And then, of course, if it's not on the main screen, it'll be in this menu here. Just click on the disc, and there you go. Now you're playing your DVD. While this is playing the DVD, you also have the option for video out from the back of this. So if you do have headrest screens or a screen in the back of your car somewhere, you can drive that screen with this head unit in addition to this screen. Of course, there is a wire in the back that needs to be hooked up to your e-brake, letting you know that the car is actually in park before you use this feature. If you click the menu button while playing a DVD, then you'll have the option to eject the disc. I found the sound on this radio to be pretty good. This vehicle that I installed it in, this is a Mustang. It has the upgraded radio in it, so I don't know if it's, more that than it is the head unit, but all in all, it does sound really good. Really, my only complaints about this radio would be that the menu can kind of be confusing at times, and also these buttons do feel kind of clicky. I don't know, for about $450, I'd expect a slightly softer touch. For the money, it has pretty much every feature you'd want, especially the ability to switch between Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is really great. Some radios really choose one or the other, and unless you're a diehard fan of either one, you really want to have that flexibility. If you like this video, be sure to hit the like button. Also subscribe for more content like this. If you're interested in this head unit, check out the description below. I'll put a product link down there. And head to rtcg.tv to see what I'm up to. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.